Back at the backyard golf course build, we have the gravel layer almost complete on 2 backyard golf greens. It's looking pretty good. I like the shape, I like the contour, I like the slope. But one thing I have to do before we bring in the expensive stuff, and that is the USGA rootzone mix, is I have to get the perimeter of this green, the collar area of this green. I have to get the final shape on that, because I need to get my irrigation lines in here and I don't want to tear it up twice. So I'm going to work on the contour here. I've created some decent height on this. I brought a lot of fill in here and did it the hard way, scooping the green area out. But what it did do is allow me to build up the perimeter here. I didn't really want to have just a flat area around a green. Kind of boring. If we're going to do this, I want to do it right. But what that did do is allow us to get some really nice height on this left side of the green. On the smaller green back at the house, we did those 3 mounds. I think it looks good. It just breaks it up from being flat and boring. And I want to do a similar thing here because we have so much elevation. I'd like to get a couple mounds scooped in here, molded out, and then they'll work really well with the gigantic mound that we built here out of those 10,000 rocks and covered with soil. The biggest obstacle on this shaping job is me, the excavator operator. I have about 120 hours on this thing lifetime, and I've been going around trying to shave the outside down here with the back of the bucket, and I think that is such a skilled technique that operators use. I'm jealous of them, the way they make it look so easy. This is sitting right on the fairway. It's got to go here very soon. The far green, we've pretty much shaped that. I don't need too much dirt there. So this is all allowed now to be used on this green. I can go crazy with those mounds. Let's get to shaping this green because it is late August and I must get the bent grass sown by mid-September. So I've got 2 or 3 weeks to get this bent grass down somehow with irrigation on it. I think this mound turned out great. It looks good, it's playable, I think it's mowable. So now we're gonna go over to this one and do a smaller version of it right here. Hard to believe how much dirt a couple mounds takes, but I took 2/3 of that pile. Always hard to see the contour on camera, but I think that looks awesome over there. If you miss on the left side of this green, you're going to be in a little bit of difficulty there with an up and down. The right side of the green is going to play just a lot more soft and easy. I'm going to smooth this hill down. I really can't do a lot over here other than smooth this off because I got to make sure we can run water down where that pipe is. That's my low point here. So we got to send water that way, and I also have a tee box back there that I really don't want to block too much with anything crazy. I think it's time we have to start talking about the B word, bunker. I know there are a lot of maintenance staff who work at golf courses, probably not huge fans of bunkers, but on the other hand, can you have a backyard golf course without a bunker? Probably not. I wasn't sure which side of the green I was going to put it on, but I think it's already naturally presenting itself here. You can already see it, I haven't done anything, and it's gonna look good, I think, with a nice shoulder of collar around that green, and then we can have a lower bunker as you're hitting up over and onto the green. The main reason I'm doing this right now is I do not want to do this in the future. I thought about it after, and if I ever want to put a bunker in here, I'm going to have to truck equipment all the way across this really nice manicured lawn. So now's the time, we're gonna do it, we're gonna rip it up now. So as usual, I'm just gonna do some quick little scratches here in the ground to guide my excavator. I just wanna see where I wanna stop this thing. Maybe the last drainage ditch of this project, maybe. Well, there we go. We got a sand trap roughed in, time-wise, it wasn't that bad. I really didn't want to give up any time because I'm so focused on getting the greens ready for the root zone mix that's coming this week. The next step is wood. I'm actually going to put the wood framework around the outside, kind of curve that. That way with the wood framework all around the bunker, I can then kind of push some soil to it nicely. It doesn't cave in. I did a drain. This is all perforated pipe with the gravel wrapped around it. So ideally the water will hit the soil here, saturate the soil, and it should find its way into this gravel, into the pipe, and then out into the treed area. Watched a couple videos on how to build these things, didn't put a lot of time into it. I think it's gonna work. I hope it's going to work. I just hope it doesn't get silted up. That seems to be the problem with bunkers, is silt in the drainage. After the wood goes around it, I'm actually going to put landscape fabric all across this whole surface. Hopefully that keeps the sand above it and the water can get through it. It's hard to believe how much this land has actually changed over the years. It's been a really part-time project for me, just moving dirt for a couple of years here. Very, very part-time. If I got an hour, I'd come out and work at it. And it's hard to believe today's the day that we're going to do a final cut on all this. And that's kind of it. Really, I just have irrigation to trench in. Hopefully next weekend we'll get a trenching machine for that. Get ready, get our grade good, and just spread topsoil and grass seed. It's hard to believe that this is sort of the last day that I'm going to scrape and bounce around here one last time, but I want to get some good shape around the bunker, tuck in maybe a little bit more dirt on that side of the green. I might bring a little bit of a finger out, not sure what you call them, but we have the bunker here. I want to go soft front and then maybe bring a little bit of a point out on the just the collar area of this green, so it's not just a round shape there. I want to break that up. That's working out great with that sharp bucket. It looks so good. Finally, for the first time ever, we can see the green from all angles. The bunker looks deeper than ever now that we have the smooth area around it. But for now, I think I'm gonna get back in the machine and take out this area. I'm just gonna work in small areas. It's kind of overwhelming when you look at the size of this place, knowing I have to smooth it all out one bucket at a time. But I'm just gonna take small areas, get them perfect to where I don't have to look at them again and they're ready for topsoil, and just keep adding up those clean squares. Well, that certainly got rocky quickly, and that may have been a mistake. You can see back here, this is where I ran the bucket even a few weeks ago, and it is still nice and smooth. As soon as I got in to this area with that drag mat, the rocks started flying up. I have this mat upside down. The tines are shooting to the sky, so they're not even touching the soil. So this is by far as gentle as I can drag this mat across, and it's still grabbed all of these rocks. From a turf and soil perspective, I think it is certainly better to get all this rock out of here, do what I just did, but the problem is picking it up. I do not want to put myself into a 50-hour job here picking up rock. This is maybe 15% of the fairway area that I just did, and there's a lot of rock here to pick up. This is my trusty rock bucket. I've picked thousands of rocks with this bucket, but the space in between the teeth is rather large, and the majority of that rock is going to shake down through it. Okay, that was a breakthrough on the rocks. Look at this pile of rocks that it's pushed. This dirt that's left over is fairly clean. I mean, there's some small rock in it that got through it, but that was unbelievable. I originally bought this to smooth out my topsoil, which is our next stage. I didn't think it was going to work on this, but man, did it ever do a good job. So this is called a few different names: soil conditioner, power rake, Harley rake. This is the cheapest one money can buy, which is mainly why I didn't want to use it in this rocky stuff. I don't want to break it. I really need this for my topsoil. In simple terms, these wheels run on the ground. This chain drives that cylinder with all these spikes on it, and it just spins out and shoots any solid stuff ahead of the machine. What I'm left with is a pretty good base here. I bought this used, and it is the cheapest offshore power rake that you can find. When I say offshore, I mean offshore. Can anyone understand that? I think I'm just going to go slow. I want to do the whole fairway now. This went pretty good. Like, look at the junk that I got out of there. I have topsoil to put down, but anyone who knows the price of topsoil and the square footage that I have to do here, I really got to keep it fairly thin for budget reasons. So if I can improve the base that I'm putting the soil on, I think that's totally worth it. So I'm going to put the time in and get rid of all this rock. That's probably a quarter of the fairway, so not too bad time-wise. Now we can just come through the tractor, pick that up. That's not a big deal at all. And I just want to keep improving. I've never used this thing before, so there's a bit of a learning curve. I just have to keep getting better and just take that top layer off. That's the key. Don't go too deep. It's amazing there was that much rock. That thing's only going down 2 to 3 inches under this soil. Just so much rock.
Now that the fairway area and the 2 greens have its final shape, next up is installing a massive backyard irrigation system, and the USGA root zone mix finally arrives.